welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Tuesday, 12 November. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we're going to be covering Germany has called snap elections for February. A Dutch tram has been set on fire in Amsterdam during unrest. And North Korea has ratified a defense treaty with Russia. So firstly, as previously reported, Germany's three-party coalition, led by Chancellor Olaf Scholz, has collapsed, prompting plans for early elections in February. The coalition, composed by the Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Free Democrats, has struggled with internal disagreements, especially concerning Germany's stance on foreign policy and migration. Scholz's dismissal of the finance minister from the FDP sparked the party's exit, leaving the government without a majority. To stabilise the political environment, the Social Democrats and the largest opposition group, the Conservatives, quickly negotiated a schedule for the election, aiming to mitigate political uncertainty in the face of Europe's ongoing security and economic challenges. The far-right Alternate for Germany party has seized on this government's collapse, calling for an immediate vote of no confidence and advocating for policy shifts on migration and oppositions to the military support of Ukraine. With growing dissatisfaction among voters, CDU leader Friedrich Merz has also pressured Scholz to expedite the election, reflecting the CDU's current high approval ratings amid the coalition's perceived ineffectiveness. This leadership crisis, as Germany faces pressing international and environmental issues, underscores the desire among centrists and the opposition to reassure voters that stability and effective governance can be restored swiftly. So what? This is going to be a critical election for Germany and will likely shape both Germany's future and possibly the outlook of Europe for the next few years. It seems likely that all parties, even traditionally left-wing parties, will need to appease voters to some degree when it comes to certain issues, such as immigration and inflation, to ensure that the AfD party does not pull too much of the vote. Additionally, it is highly likely that foreign intelligence services, particularly from Russia, will be working overtime to influence these elections, as they may be critical for the conflict in Ukraine. Next, in Amsterdam, recent violence involved a tram being set on fire by a group using sticks and firecrackers in the city's western 40 to 45 square. Though the tram was empty and no injuries were reported, the incident led to a shattered window and escalated to police presence in the area, with riot squads clearing the area and making several arrests. This incident follows the recent tensions in Amsterdam after a series of altercations between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli supporters, including the violent clashes surrounding a football match involving a Tel Aviv team and Ajax. Police have now detained multiple individuals connected to these previous disturbances, which were marked by acts such as flag burning, racist chants and assaults, igniting broader unrest in the city. The violence has drawn strong condemnation from Dutch leaders, with the Prime Minister labelling the attacks on Israeli fans as anti-Semitic. Footage from social media and local news showed provocations from both sides, with the Tel Aviv fans engaging in inflammatory behaviour such as chanting and vandalism, leading to scuffles in public places. The events have stirred national and international responses, including from Israel's Prime Minister. Amsterdam authorities, aiming to prevent further disorder, have now implemented a temporary ban on pro-Palestinian protests in the city. The government's response reflects concern over rising tensions to international conflicts, adding to an already sensitive political landscape, especially under their current right-wing administration. So what? The Dutch government has found themselves in the front line of the Palestine versus Israeli debate. At this stage, it seems highly unlikely that the people supporting both sides are willing to accept any other positions, making the situation extremely complex. It is likely that there will continue to be protests in Amsterdam in the short term, particularly if the government continues to crack down on people's freedom to protest. And lastly, North Korea has formalized a mutual defense treaty with Russia, committing both nations to aid each other in the event of armed attack. This move follows recent reports from Ukraine's defense ministry of clashes between Ukrainian and North Korean forces stationed in Russia's region of Kursk. According to North Korea's news agency, the treaty was ratified by North Korea Kim Jong-un and will come into effect once ratification instruments are exchanged between the two countries. Russian lawmakers had previously ratified the treaty unanimously, with President Vladimir Putin signing it. This defense pact was originally negotiated in June during Putin's visit to Pyongyang, setting forth a framework for immediate military assistance should either nation come under attack. The deal has heightened international scrutiny as it coincides with allegations from South Korea, Ukraine, and Western intelligence agencies that North Korea has already sent 10,000 troops to assist Russia in its war in Ukraine. North Korean Foreign Minister recently expressed Pyongyang's steadfast support for Russia, describing the Ukrainian conflict as a sacred struggle. Meanwhile, the G7 has condemned the increasing military cooperation between the two countries, voicing concerns that North Korean troops may be trained in ballistic missile operations, which would violate UN Security Council resolutions. Additionally, Western countries accuse North Korea of supplying Russia with artillery and missiles for its use in Ukraine, signaling continued escalating global tensions around the conflict. So what? It is almost certain that this is part of their deal that sees North Korean troops supporting Russia. It is likely that this agreement is just more posturing, seeing the countries pick sides in the current geopolitical turmoil. In reality, it is unlikely that this changes much and is more likely a symbolic move. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host Daniel, and I'll see you next time.